Hello everyone. I welcome you all to the free live webinar for Primavera P6 organized by Multisoft Virtual Academy. This is an interactive live webinar wherein you will have the opportunity to submit questions to today's presenter by typing your questions into the questions pane. You may send in your questions at any time during the presentation. We will collect these and address them during the Q&A session at the end of today's presentation. We feel glad to inform you that today's live online session, that is the free live webinar for Primavera P6, will be taken by Mr. Nikhil Raj, who is already working as a senior planning engineer and has got 5 years of extensive experience in project planning, management and controlling using Primavera P6. He has been a part of Multisoft expert panel of instructors to give quality trainings for the clients. Let me just give you a brief description about the topic and agenda that will be covered in the live webinar for Primavera P6 with Multisoft Virtual Academy. This live interactive webinar is on critical path method in Oracle Primavera P6. Critical path method is the base of every project management software. Before starting to work with Primavera P6, it is necessary to understand CPM and all the terminologies related to CPM. This will help you to understand the software to its very depth and makes easy to make right decisions. Now I would like to share the topic that cover the agenda of this interactive live webinar for Primavera P6 by Multisoft Virtual Academy. It includes understanding activities, logic duration and relationships, early start and early finish, late start and late finish, total float and free float, forward pass and backward pass, critical activities and path. Also, the final and most important session, doubt clearing.
Login name and password. So this password you will be setting when you install the software. So currently my password I will enter, it's admin25. So it will connect to the database. This is the front screen of Primavera P6. Now, for all project management software, there is a basic. So that basic is what we call as critical path method. So you will be knowing critical path method, but I will explain that again. You just go through it. Okay. So I will give you an example in critical path method so that you will understand every terms in Primavera as well. So here, I think you know this predecessors, duration, early start, early finish, late start, late finish. You want me to explain that again? Yeah, longest path on the project. Exactly. Yeah, exactly what that is. Yes. So just as a part of session, I will just take it. So you just understand which is the risky part of the project. Yeah, right. Yeah, very good. Okay, so here you can see an example like when we look into construction, like there will be activities, right? So in construction, site mobilization will be the first activity. After site mobilization only we will go for excavation. And after excavation we go for construction. So when we plan a project, what we do is we know how the work will be going on. So based on that, all activities we will arrange in a logic. So that's what we do in planning stage. So here I have given an example, whereas the activities is denoted as A, B, C, D, E, F up to K, and every activity will have some duration. So that duration is like this: A to activity A duration is 3, B is 11, C is 9, like that it goes on. And here you can see predecessors. The first 3 activities A, B, C doesn't have any predecessors. That means activity A, B, C starts concurrently, right? And if you look at activity D, you can see the predecessor is A. That means D activity will start only after completion of activity A, right? And activity E and F, you can see E and F, predecessor is B. That means after completion of activity B, activity E and F will start. So this is how the relationship has given, right? Now, according to the standards, we can take as PMBOK standards, every activity is denoted like finish to start. Yeah, of course, yeah, right. Finish to start relationship. Sometimes it may be start to start. It all depends upon how the work is going, right? Okay. Now, according to PMBOK, every activity are denoted like this. It will be put in a box, and at the top right, in the top left corner, they will write down the early start of activity, and in the bottom left corner, they will write down the late start, and early finish and late finish in the right side. And at the top of activity, they will write down the float, or you can call it as slack, and at the bottom of activity, they will write down the duration. So this is how an activity is denoted as, right? In PMBOK, the float will be at the bottom and duration will be at the top. But for my convenience, I put it like this, right? Okay. So early start, late start, you already know what it is. Again, once again, I will explain. Let's say this class was supposed to start on 4 o'clock, right? So that is the earliest start of this activity. But late start, like the which I started is at 4:15. So that is the late start. That activity can be started on 4 o'clock or it can start on 4:15, but don't go beyond that, right? So every activity will have some early start and late start. So that's what we're gonna find. So I hope you understood what is early start, late start. Same way they got early finish and late finish. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a network diagram based on the activities, duration and its predecessors. So you'll see how it's done. So here is the network chart. So as I already told you, as per the example, I have arranged all the activities. Activity A, B, C will start concurrently. Activity D will start after completion of A. Activity E and F will start after completion of B. Same like this example I have arranged. This is called a network chart. Next I will write down the duration of each activities. So the duration of each activity is 3, 11, 9, 7, 9, 5, 5, 19, 17. So that's duration. Now let's assume that this project will start on day 1. Okay. So we are assuming that this project will start on day 1. So what will happen? Activity A, early start will become day 1. Same goes for activity B and C. Okay. So you understood, right? Yeah. Now we know activity A duration is 3. That means activity A will finish by
third day.
on which day? 1
The
plus
third
3
day.
makes 4 minus 1. That is 3. Right? So
Yeah,
activity A
third
will
day.
finish by 3. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. 3. Now same calculation. What is the calculation? Early start plus duration minus 1 will give you early finish. That is 1 plus 3 makes 4. 4 minus 1 gives you 3. Okay. Now we go for the next activity. B, the early finish date is 11 and C is 9. Okay. Now let's say activity D. Activity D will start on which day? Third day activity A will finish, so the next day activity D will start. That means during the early start of D becomes 4. So you can generate an
Yeah.
equation. Early finish plus 1 gives you early start of the next activity. The same
Next
calculation goes
activity.
for E, makes 12. F is also 12 and G is 10
And
and H is also 10.
10.
Again the same calculation goes for D. 4 plus 7 makes 11 minus 1 gives you 10, right? So the same yeah,
10.
exactly at 10. So same calculation goes for E, F, G and H. Okay? Yeah. Now look at activity I. Activity I will start after completion of D and E. So D activity will finish on day 10 and E activity will finish on day 20. That means activity I will start on no, not 11, because you know activity I will wait for D and E to finish. Yeah. So which is the longest duration you have to check in this case. So activity E is 20. So you have to take the larger value and you need to plus 1, add 1. So that makes 21 for the start of activity I. Okay. Right. Now what about J? The start date of J becomes F finish on 16 and G finish on 14. So J will start by 17. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right. So you have to take the greater value, add 1. Right? Fine. Now what about activity K? Activity K will wait for I, J and H. And the longest duration is 28. So the K will start on, sorry. I'm very sorry. Yeah, I understood. We actually didn't calculate the early finish of I and J. Similarly, 21 plus 17 minus 1 makes 37. J is 21. Right? Now what about K? K will wait for 37, 21 and 28. The greater value is 37. So the K start date will become, of course, yeah, 38. And the finish date of K becomes 38 plus 3 minus 1 makes 40. That means this project can be finished by day 40. So this is the project finish date. Now your client is telling that he wants to finish the project on day 40. He don't want to delay the project. In this case, your early finish and late finish will become same. Okay, and the calculation what we have done to find out the early start and early finish is called as forward pass. Now we will calculate the late start and late finish, which we call as backward pass. So as I told you, our client don't want to delay the project, so your early finish and late finish is same, so your late finish becomes day 40. Now you need to do reverse calculation. We have to find out the late start of activity K. So how we find out? 40, you have to deduct 3. 40 minus 3 plus 1 makes 38. In forward pass we did 1 plus 3 minus 1 gives you 3, right? So the exact reverse calculation. Here 40 minus 3 plus 1 gives you 38. So LF minus D plus 1 gives you LS of that activity. Now, when you go to the next level, that means K is connected to I, J and H. So 38 becomes, you have to deduct 1. In forward pass, when you go to the next level, you add 1, right? But in backward pass, you need to deduct 1. So 38 becomes 37, 37 and 37, right? Okay. Now look at I. It will become 21. J will become 33. And D activity, you can see it is finishing on 21. 21 will become 20, 20. And the calculation will become like this, 14 and 12. And for J, it will become 32 and 32. Late start will become 28. Similarly, H, 19, right? Now look at activity A. A is connected to D. So 14 will become, okay, we will look at C. Activity C is connected to G and H. G late start is 28 and H late start is 19. In this case, in backward pass, you need to take the least value and deduct 1. So which is the least value is 19 minus 1 gives you 18. Right? The same calculation goes for B makes 11. So it becomes 1 and 13. Yeah, becomes 11. So in backward pass, the complete reverse calculation of forward pass gives you the late start and late finish. Right? Now, look at activity A carefully. You can see the early start of this activity is day 1 and early finish of activity A is 11. That means activity A can start on day 1 or it can start on day 2, 3, 4, 5 up to 11. Which means activity A can be delayed for how many days?
10.
Exactly. 11 minus 1 gives you 10. So this number of days a activity can delay without delaying the project total duration, that is 40, is called as float. Exactly. Very good. Yeah. So it makes me very easy for taking class for a person who took PMP. It's great. So same calculation goes for B. 1 minus 1 gives you 0. Same calculation if you do, you will get float for each activity. And if you have a closer look on this logic, you can see some activities have 0 float. Which are they? D, E, I and K. Right? These activities have 0 float.
Yes.
So these activities we call it as critical activities and the path we call as critical path. So is that clear? So out of some 11 activities, there are 4 very important, very critical activities that cannot be delayed. If you delay critical activities, your project duration will extend. It will go beyond 40. But you can delay rest of the activity. So this is the concept of critical path method. And this is the basis of every project management software, including Primavera. So hope you understood the base very well. If you have any, do you have any doubt? You can say yes. If you have no doubt, you can say no. Right, very good. Now we will go for the Primavera software. Now we will see the user interface of Primavera P6. Okay. So here is the user interface of Primavera P6. So the version, the latest version of Primavera is now R15 is the latest version. But the version what we handling is R8.4. But the user interface is same for 15 and 8.4. There is no much difference. Okay. So here is the user interface. When you open Primavera, you will get this screen. And if you look at this screen, you can see this entire area is what we call as tables. Okay. And this right side area we call as Gantt chart. So you already know Gantt chart is it is the graphical representation of your activities. And at the top of the Gantt chart you can see a calendar kind of thing which we call as time scale. And at the bottom there is a window which we call as project detail window or simply detail window. And this entire set of tabs we call it as tab. And this area at the top you can see the menu bar. Every software have menu bars, and at the bottom of menu bar you can see the toolbar for Primavera.
Toolbar.
And the right side you can see standard toolbar. The first set is standard toolbar, second set is called as enterprise toolbar, and the third set is called as project toolbar. Similarly, we have another 3 set which we call as editing toolbar, the second one is assigning toolbar, and the third one is moving toolbar. Right? So this is the graphical user interface of Primavera. Right? So hope you understood this one. Now we will open the software. Is that clear? Shall I go ahead? Alright, thank you. Now, for your convenience, I will just give you a note which explains how I am going to take Primavera in a structured way. Right? So the first thing that you must understand in Primavera is called as OBS, or we can simply call it as Organizational Breakdown Structure. And the next one I will talk about EPS, which we call as Enterprise Project Structure. I will explain you one by one, but this is your course syllabus. Syllabus kind like how I am going to teach you Primavera. So first I will teach you OBS, second I will teach you EPS, then I will teach you user preferences. That means you have to do certain settings before you start the project. And after that you need to set the calendar, you create a calendar. As you already know that every schedule is based on time. Schedule means time. So that time you need to set before you start working on project. So that is calendar. So after creating calendar, we will see how to create a project. Then we will see how to create an activities, not activities. After creating project, you need to create work breakdown structure. Then you will create activities. Then we will give duration to each activities. After that, we will give relationship to each activities. Okay, relationship between each activities. After that, we will prepare a schedule. So in today's session, I will teach you up to schedule, right? So the first thing is what? OBS. So what is an OBS? I will explain. Now, here OBS in Primavera means the organizational breakdown structure is a global hierarchy that represents the managers responsible for the projects in your enterprise. The OBS usually reflects the management structure of your organization from top level personnel down through the various levels constituting your business. Right? So if when you're working, you might have seen an organization chart, or when you prepare for PMP, you have done resource breakdown structure, RBS. So this OBS is exactly same like RBS. Like whereas you will write down the designation of the people. Like here, Chief Director is Mr. Muller, and under Chief Director there is Director of Construction and Director of Training. Mr. Muhammad is Director of Construction and Mr. Jansen is Director of Training. Under Director of Construction, there is two persons, that is Project Manager for high-rise buildings and another Project Manager for bridge construction. And under Director of Training, there is two departments, one is Civil Trainer, another one is Project Management Trainer. Right? So this particular structure is what we call as organization breakdown structure. Rashid Group of companies. You are doing lot of business around the globe. You have a business in construction, you have business in production, you have business in aerospace. Okay? And under each department you have several projects. You got it? This structure is called as project structure. And who is the person taking care of each department? That is called as organization breakdown structure. So here you can see Navic Solution is a company. It's a largest company. This company have department. Yeah, of course I will explain that OBS again. So you understand, let's say Navic Solution is your company. Your company have two departments, two business. One is in construction and another one is training. And high-rise bridge construction under construction, two departments, civil and project management under training. Okay, so this is your company structure. This is how you do business. So this is called as enterprise project structure. Now, what is OBS? OBS means who is the person taking care of each department. So Navic Solution, as I told you, it's your company. So Mr. Rashid is taking care of Navic Solution and you are the chief director of this company or chief executing officer of this company. Right? So here you can see the OBS and EPS is connected. Right? Navic Solution is taking care of Mr. Muller, is the chief director. Under Navic Solution there is two departments called as construction and training, which is taken care by Director of Construction and Director of Training. right? So you have to create an OBS and EPS in Primavera. After that, you need to connect it. So now you understood what is the difference between the project structure and organization structure?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's it. Now, why we are creating OBS and EPS in Primavera? I will explain you very simple. Mr. Rashid, you are the CEO of it. Yeah, of course, you ask your question, then I will explain. Yeah, go ahead. Okay, some organizations are functional. Other are, yeah, that is in PMP, project functional matrix, project matrix you are talking about, right?
Absolutely.
Some organizations, yeah, right, I understood. Okay, this is actually, yeah, some are mixed. In Primavera, why we are using OBS and EPS, I will explain. Whether it may be functional, whether it may be projectized, whatever, both can be made in Primavera. Let's say, if Mr. Rashid, you are the CEO of a company or you own a company called as Navic Solution, right? So why you are using Primavera in your company? Because as a person, you don't want to go to every department and ask about the progress of every project. If you have Primavera, you can create this project structure and ask them to create the real projects under each department. So that when you open Primavera, you can straight away go to construction and you can see what is the progress of construction, how much money is being given to construction and what is the present status of construction. Everything can be easy. So you can easily go into each department and see what is the progress and how much money is being spent, and you can also analyze whether it is profit or loss. Yeah, whether it may be functional or projectized, you can do this one in Primavera. Okay. Yeah. So that is why we are creating organization breakdown structure and enterprise project structure in Primavera. Because I told you Primavera is a portfolio management software. So your projects will be structured under EPS. Once again, whatever projects you are doing, it will be structured under EPS. Let's say if you got a new high-rise building project, that project need to be created under high-rise building department. And here there is a person, PM, program manager for high-rise. He will be taking care of all those projects. So that is why I structured to create OBS and EPS in Primavera. So we will see how to create OBS and EPS in Primavera. For that, you need to go to Primavera and go to Enterprise option and click on OBS. Here you can see OBS. Fine. So here you can see how your organization breakdown structure looks like. So here I already have a structure. So this structure represents, here is the enterprise. You can just give a name of your enterprise, Navic Solution. This is a big company which got under Navic Solution there is ENC, Engineering and Consulting, Energy, Manufacturing, Production, Corporate, IT. Right? And under production there is production program 1 and 2. Under corporate there is in-flight and pipeline. Under IT there is line of business 1, line of business 2. Right? If you want to create a organization breakdown structure like this, it's very easy. You can just press add from this button. You can press add. A new OBS will be created. Let's say this is called aerospace. Okay, now this aerospace can be created under any of this department. How? You can play with this left, shift right, shift up, shift left and shift down. If you press shift up, it will go up. If you want to put it under line of business 1, you can use shift right. See, you can see the root is changed. So likewise, you can create an organizational breakdown structure. Okay, I will show you one more example. You can press add. You can say this is CEO, and under CEO there is two OBS. You can select and move to left, select, move to right, and under CEO there is director civil. You can write the designation or you can write the name. So director civil, director mechanical. Okay, this is how you create OBS. So just once again, just press add. So a new OBS will be created. You can play with this left, right, up, down. You can move it into the specific location. Once you've done this OBS, you can go to display button at the top here and you can click on chart view. So when you go on chart view, program will display how your organization structure is looking like. So here is the company Navic solution is divided to ENC, energy, manufacturing, okay, and in OBS, instead of writing ENC energy, you can write down their name or designation. So that is OBS. And after that, you can go back to table view. Okay. So you understood how to create an OBS. Simply press add. You can just write down who and all are the persons. Is that clear? Shall I start EPS? How to create EPS? Okay. Delete merge means, let's say if you want to delete mechanical, you can just delete it. Same like delete, cut, copy. You can copy this and you can paste it. Okay. Those are editing tools. You can add it, you can delete, you can cut, copy, whatever. Just to create this structure, you can play around with this icons. You can add it, you can delete it, cut, copy, paste. Very simple one. Alright. Next you can close. Next we will see how to create EPS. To create EPS, you need to go to enterprise. You can see enterprise project structure. So EPS is also same like OBS. So here I have already created an enterprise project structure. Again, ENC, energy, manufacturing. If you want to create new, you can just press add. Okay, you can just give the EPS ID and EPS name. Similarly, you can go to display button. You can go to chart view so that it will show you the chart view. Screen is not changing. Still showing obvious. Okay, please wait. I think some network. Okay, it's fine now, right? Okay. Once again, EPS, you can go to enterprise option, go to enterprise project structure, and here display you can change to table view, and same like OBS, you can just create, you can press add, a new EPS will be created. So this EPS you can move it using this shift right, up, down, left, and if you want to delete, you can delete, you can cut, you can copy, you can paste, right? Apart from this, you can just go to display and press chart view, so it will display how your project structure looks like. This is your enterprise, is divided to ENC, energy, manufacturing, right? So this is how it works. Go back to table view, and you need to connect OBS and EPS. So how you do that? You can right click, you can go to columns, you can say responsible managers. So a new column will be created. So this is called as responsible manager. Let's say Navic solution. You can just change the responsible manager from here. You can select the EPS. You can go down. You can press this browse button over here, and you can select who is the responsible person or responsible designation for this respective EPS. Okay, like one by one you can change. Okay, once again what I will do, I will change the OBS so that it's easy to understand. OBS I will delete all. So let's say Navic solution, under Navic solution, let's say CEO. Under CEO there is a Senior Vice President, Senior VP, Senior VP, Senior VP 1, Senior VP 2, and under Senior VP 1 you can press add, you can move this right button. So Senior VP there is Director. Under Senior VP 2 there is also one Director. Okay. Likewise you can create the OBS. Once you done, you can go back to EPS. You can assign who is taking care of enterprise. Click that, it is CEO. And ENC Energy Manufacturing is controlled by Director 1. So click here, change it to Senior Vice President. Press yes, Senior Vice President, Energy Director. Okay. Likewise, you can assign the responsible persons. So this is how you create OBS and EPS. After that, you can connect it. Okay. All right. So you understand how to create OBS, EPS, and connecting OBS and EPS. Is that clear? Shall I close this one and go to the next topic? All right. Next topic is user preferences. So user preferences is very important topic, because if you made any mistake, or if you didn't do these settings before you create project, there is a lot of chance that getting lot of errors while you're working with schedules. So user preferences is mandatory. And it's very simple too. There are 3 steps that you need to take care in user preferences. To set user preferences, you need to go to edit, click on user preferences here. Okay. The first thing, I will tell you what are the 3 important things. First is time units, dates, assistance. Once again, the 3 things that you need to set. The 3 things that you need to set before you create project. What are they? Time units, dates, and assistance. Right? The first thing I will explain what is time units. In time units, you need to set unit format and duration format, also the decimals. So I'll explain you what it is. Okay, so 3 steps must do before starting the project. So if you didn't do this setting, what is the problem? You may get fractured duration. Means if you give 10 days duration, it may become 10.15, 10.12, 10.13. So that is called as fractured duration. So there is a chance of getting that fractured duration in your schedule. There is a chance different start date and time, fractured labor cost, fractured labor units, wrong resource assignments. These are the problems that may occur if you didn't set the user preferences. So the 3 things are time units, dates, and assistance. Now what is time units? When you go to time units, you can see unit format and duration format. Unit format means how your resources are measured. Is it measured in man days or man hours? If your company, let's assume your company works 8 hours per day, so could send 3 labors a day. Okay. Example is very simple. If your company could send maximum 3 labors a day, or let's say Mr. Rashid, you owns a company. If there is any work that happens in your site, you can send maximum of 3 labors. That is your limit and that is your capacity. So in this case, in man days, we will write like this 3 per day, 3D per day, or you can write down one person is working 8 hours per day. So 3 person will work 24 hours per day. So or you can write down in Primavera 24 hours per day. So in Primavera there is two options. You can write 3 per day if it is in man days, or you can write 24 hours per day if the settings is in man hours. So you can choose whether you want to measure in man days or man hours from here. Unit of time, you can see day and hour. So to you have to check your project, how your project is measuring. In India we consider in man days. So what we do, we change it to days. But in European countries they pay the resource based on the hours they work. So in such case you need to change the unit of time to hours. Right? Also you need to set 2 decimals. Is that clear? Any doubt regarding unit format? It's clear, right? Now the next is duration format. How your project activity durations are measured. For example, activity foundation need 30 days to complete. So in some project it can be 30 days. Some project they will write everything on months, 1 month, 2 month activities, 3 months. So how you are measuring your activities, right? So here in our class, the activity is what? Primavera. Primavera, the course duration is 18 hours, right? So we are measuring the activity based on hours in our project. But in construction, in my company, which I work in a construction company where we measure activities in days. So how you are measuring your activity, you need to set it in duration format. Okay, so I hope that's clear. Now similarly you have to give 2 decimals. Very simple, 2 decimal. So in time units you have to set the unit of time and decimal, duration format and decimal. That's it. So this is the thing you need to set. Must put 2 decimal. Next option is dates. So here is dates. In dates you need to set a date format. So normally our date format is day, month and year. And by default in Primavera the time option will be do not show time, but you need to change to 12 hours. Must activate time, very important. Why? Because by default the Primavera starting time is 12 a.m. If you didn't set the time, every activity when you schedule it will start on 12 a.m. So that is why you need to set it to 12-hour time. Is that clear? Okay. And the third important thing is assistance. When you click on assistance, you can see there are 2 options called as use new resource wizard and use new activity wizard. When you install Primavera, these 2 options will be checked. Okay, but you need to uncheck it before you create the project. Okay, why you need to uncheck, I will explain that later, but you need to uncheck it. Okay, I will explain it later. Why? I will explain it. So in Primavera, what are the steps? Go to edit, then go to user preferences, go to time units, set unit of format to day, duration format also you can change to day, decimal is 2, decimal is 2, go to dates, set the date format is day, month and year, time, make it 12-hour time, go to assistance, uncheck these 2 wizards. Is that clear, the 3 steps? Okay. Now you can close this one. So that is user preferences. So OBS, EPS, user preferences. The next step is very important step, that is called as calendar. Most of the issues in your schedule is because you have a, yes, time units, dates and assistance, correct. Now I am going to take calendar. Most of the problems in schedule occur because of a wrong calendar. Many people still doesn't know how to set a calendar. Even if they set calendar, there may be a lot of chance there is a mistake. So I will explain you very clearly how to set up a calendar. For that I will take an example. Example is, let's say you are working in a project where the project will start on 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. So 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. means 9 hours, right? 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9 hours. Let's give a break. 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. is some break. Okay? And Sunday is holiday. Sunday is holiday. Rest of all days we are working 8 hours. And let's assume there are some public holidays. We can put December 25 as Christmas is a public holiday. Is a public holiday. Okay. Then 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. is break. Sunday is holiday. December 25 is Christmas. Okay. So we need to create a calendar using this condition. Also 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. the working hours is how much? 8 hours, right? So 8 hours per day you are working. Correct. So if you work 8 hours per day, per week how many hours you will be working? Considering 7 days a week, one day is Sunday, so you will be working 6 days a week. So 6 times 8 makes 48. Exactly 48, yeah. 48 hours per week. And let's consider a month, 30 days will be there. Out of 30 days, 4 Sundays will be there. So we can consider a month as 26 days. So 26 times 8 hours per day makes 208 hours you will be working in a month. And for a year, 1 month it is 208 hours. So per month is, per year, 208 multiplied by 12, that will give you 2496 hours per year, right? So when you create a calendar, you have to set up this many things. Okay, when you create calendar, you inquire about your project, what is the working start time and finish time, break, Sunday means holidays, public holidays, working hour per day, per week, per month and per year. So this much data you need to enter to create a new calendar. Now we will see how to enter this data. This window is called as calendars window. In this window there are some default calendars like 5 days 10-hour working day, 6 days 24-hour working day. These all are standard by default calendars that comes along with Primavera. Now if you want to create a calendar, a new calendar, you can press on add button. Okay, when you click add, program will ask select calendar to copy from. That means you need to select a reference calendar to create a new calendar. So you can select trades 5-day work week as a reference calendar. You can select any one of this, but for convenience I used to select 5-day work week as a reference calendar. Then press select. Now program will ask you to name the new calendar. Let's say Mr. Rashid and Co. She and Co. calendar. So this is a new calendar that you're going to use for your project, and press enter. So the calendar is renamed. Now you can press it as default. Make it as default calendar. Why? In Primavera you can create hundreds of projects. If you make a calendar as a default calendar, whenever you create a new project, it will follow the default calendar. That's why it's better to make it as a default calendar. After that, we know this calendar is exactly same to your reference calendar, which is trades 5-day work week. Now if to modify this calendar, you can press modify. This calendar says Sunday is holiday, Saturday is also holiday, other days it is working 8 hours per day. Okay, you can see the legends. Standard is some gray color, non-working is some dark gray color, exception is pure white. Okay, so this is the calendar. Now we need to change it to our requirements, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. right? So how to do that? You need to go to detailed work hours per day option. Click on the radio button, detailed work hours per day. After clicking this, go to work week option. So work week, a new window will appear. So you need to understand what is this boxes. You can see a lot of boxes here. So the first box you can see 0 to 30, and the other box you can see 30 to 60, and here you can see 0. This means this box represents 12 a.m. to 12:30 a.m. Each box is 30 minutes. So the first box is how much? 12 a.m. to 12:30 a.m. and the second box is 12:30 a.m. to 1 a.m. right? Then 1 starts here. This box represents 1 a.m. to 1:30 a.m. and the next box represents 1:30 a.m. to 2 a.m. right? So look at here 8. This box represents 8 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. Second box represents 8:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. So this is how this each box represents. So did you understand this one? Up to 23 you can see here. 23 means 11 to 11:30 p.m. 11:30 p.m. to 12 p.m. Again 12 to 12:30 a.m. starts. So you understood this one, these boxes. Alright. Now here you can see day of the week, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Now according to our calendar requirement, we are working 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. is break. Sunday is holiday. So what you do, click on Sunday, right? Sunday is holiday. So click on Sunday and select all the working hours. Okay, select all the working hours. Then say work. Click on work. Sorry, Sunday is non-working, so you need to click on non-work. Is that clear? Sunday is not working, so click Sunday, select all working hours and press no work. Then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday and Saturday. Select all this Monday to Saturday. All these days we are working from 8 a.m. So here is 8 to 5 p.m. Where is 5? You can see 16. This box represents 4 to 4:30 and this box represents 4:30 to 5. So you need to select all these boxes and press work, right? Now you can see these boxes becomes white color. Then we know 1 to 2 p.m. 1 to 1:30, 1:30 to 2. We are not working, right? So click on no working. So you understood, select Monday to Saturday, select from 8 to 5 and select 1 to 2 and make it non-work. So this is how you create the condition. Is that clear? Okay, fine. Once you created the condition, you can press OK. Now you can see your calendar has changed. Now Sunday becomes holiday, Saturday becomes working day. Each day we are working from 8 to 5. You can go to total work hours per day. Click on this radio button. You can see each day we are working 8 hours. right? So we have created the conditions here up to here. Now we need to give public holidays. So how to give public holiday? You need to go to that respective date. December 2015 25 is holiday. So go to that particular date and simply press no work like this. So this day will become 0 work hours per day, means it is a holiday. Similarly, you can go to January 2016, day 1 is New Year, you can make it as non-work. Same way you can go to respective public holidays. Let's say if your project is of 2 years, in that particular 2 years, how many public holidays are there? You need to go to that respective dates and make it as a non-work. So this is how you create the public holidays. After that, you need to set the time, 8 hours per day, 48 hours per week to 208 hours a month. So how to do that? Simply press on time periods. So here you can see time periods. Click on time periods. Hours per day is 8. Hours per week is 48. You have to do this manually. Hours per month is 208 and hours per year is 2496. That's it. And press OK. Is that clear? So we have generated all the conditions. Not required. If you work in a company, no. If you work in a company, that company will pay for every month. Right? 30 days they will pay you. This is for resource cost calculation we are doing this. When you create time per period, this is just for your schedule calculations. Like 8 hours you will be working. 48 hours, that's it. There is no big deal on hours per time period. Just give the rough calculation, not exact calculation is not. No, because for consulting work, Of course, for consulting work also we will be considering 8 hours like that. Okay? Yeah. So this is how you create a calendar. Then press OK and close it. So you can you can do some 2-3 exercise by yourself, and you make sure you are good at making calendars in Primavera. If once the calendar is created, close it. Okay, so your schedule will be having no problems. Okay, so that is how we create a calendar. Okay, so after creating calendar, the next step is to create a project. So to create a project is very easy. You can see when you open Primavera, you normally goes to project. Here you can see project is written in the bold letters. In this window, you can see there is a lot of projects already here. You can see these all are projects. If you want to create a new project, you can press on add button. Here can you see add button? Just press add button, so that you will get a new wizard, create a new project wizard. In this wizard, program will ask you to select an EPS. So you remember you have created an EPS, your project structure. Now you need to tell program the project which you are going to create is under which structure, which EPS. So that one you can select from here. Let's say we are going to do a IT project. So you can select the EPS from here. You can see all the EPS that you have created. You can see IT, information technology, line of business 1. So we are creating a new project which is under line of business 1. So select line of business 1, press add. That is it. Then go to next. Here you need to give the ID of the project. Let's say we are going to create an IT project, right? So implementation so 2015. This is the ID of the project, implementation of Oracle database. This is the project name. Okay, project name is what? Implementation of Oracle database. Then go next. When you reach this window, program will ask you what is the planned start of this project. Click on this browse button and say we are starting this project on February 2016, Monday, day 1, and our calendar starts at 8 a.m. so change it to 8 a.m. As I told you, by default Primavera starting time is 12 a.m. You have to change it to your calendar starting time. Okay, 8 a.m. And must finish by date. No need, never give must finish by date. Always start with plan start and create a schedule with a logic so that automatically it will calculate the finish date. So I won't recommend to create the must finish by date because it will end up with generating negative flows. So leave this space, just give what is the project plan start. Then press next. And when you reach this window, you need to choose a responsible manager or project manager for this project. You can simply click on this browse button. You can see the OBS which you have created. You can select director 1 is responsible and you can press next. In Primavera, you need to set the rate type. Rate type means if Mr. Rashid is working in Nigeria, you will be getting a pay, right? Say some 30,000 to 50,000 naira you will be get per month. But the same Rashid, if company send you to Saudi Arabia, you will be getting some more in riyals. And if you work in UK, you will be getting some more in pounds. So in Primavera, for a particular person or a particular designation, we can set up to 5 price per units. Okay, so that is why it is asking for in what rate type the project is running. So normally no need to set all those stuff. These all are some extra stuff in Primavera. You can always go with the standard rate, right? And you can press next. Congratulations, your project is created. And press finish. You can see a new a new folder is created here which is called as project. Implementation of Oracle database. So this is how we create project. You have any doubt on creating project? Is that clear? No. Okay. What's the question? Okay, fine. All right. Okay. So you can see the project, the icon is folder icon, right? But here you can see the folder is opened. Open means the project is opened in database. If you want to close the project, you can go to file and you can say close all and press yes. You can see the project icon is now closed. Okay. To open the project, you can just right click and you can select open project option. Now you can see the project is opened. When you open a project, it opens activities. You can see activities is now in bold letters. Means activity window is active. Here you can create activities. But before creating activities, you need to set up a work breakdown structure or WBS. So after creating project, you need to set up a work breakdown structure. Right? Now, how to create work breakdown structure in Primavera? Very simple. Open the project. When you open project, it automatically opens the activities. So to open the WBS, you need to click on this icon. This is work breakdown structure icon. So I think you must know what is WBS. Actually, we are according to PMBOK, the definition I forget, it is something like splitting the project into small and simpler deliverables, right? Manageable, yeah, small and manageable units, exactly, yeah, correct. So that is WBS. So this project you can divide to some levels. According to some references which I got from internet, you can create up to 7 levels of WBS or deliverables you can create. If the levels of WBS becomes more than 7, it becomes difficult to manage. So to create, how to create WBS is very easy. You can see a add button here. Simply press add. You can see a new WBS is created under project, and you can change the WBS name. Let's say implementation of Oracle database. Let's say deliverable. I'm just giving an example. Deliverable 1 implementation. Let's say design. I'm not an IT person, so I'm trying to give you some WBS examples. And design, then programming, and implementing. Yes, you can use. Okay, no, yeah, I will use that better next time. Yeah, all right, then I will do that. So here you understood, right? This is the first level WBS, design, programming, implementing. If you want to create a second level WBS, you click on the first level WBS and press add. A new WBS will be created under that particular. This is second level WBS. And if you want to adjust, you can use this button, move up, move down, move left, move right. Okay, likewise you can create a WBS, third level of WBS, 4 level WBS you can create using pressing add button. Also this move button, you can make use of it. And if you want to delete, you can press delete. Cut button is there, copy button is there, paste button is there, right? So once you've done the WBS, you can go to layout, and sorry, not layout, you can see an icon called as chart view icon. Click on this, you can see your WBS is now in chart structure. And to go back, you can click on this button. This is table button, and this is Gantt chart. So you understood how to create WBS. Alright. The next thing is what? After creating the WBS, you need to create the activities under each WBS. To do that, you need to go back to activities. So here you can see WBS is in bold letters. So to create activities, you need to click on activities tab. Right now here you can see here what we have created under the project design, program, implementing. But when you go to activities, it is showing something different. It is showing under design it is programming, under programming it is implementing, under implementing it is the new WBS, like that. This is a bug in Primavera. It shouldn't show like this. It should not show like this. So to get rid of this bug, you need to do a step. What is that step? Right click on the table, go to group and sort, and here what you need to do is just check ID and code, press apply, uncheck ID and code, press apply and press OK. Now you can see the problem is solved now. So this is a bug. Okay, so to get rid of this bug, once again I will explain. Just go to group and sort, just check ID and code and apply, uncheck ID and code and press OK. The problem will be solved. Okay, is that clear? Now let's assume under design we have some activities. So to create activities again is very easy. You can go to add button here. This is add button. Okay, now you remember in edit user preferences I told that in assistance you need to uncheck these two wizard. What is this wizard? Use new activity wizard. If this wizard is on, what will happen? Let's see. Close it. Create a new activity. Program will come up with a wizard. That means to create an activity you need to fill this form. You need to fill the wizard. Next, 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 next. It will take some 30 seconds to fill all this form, right? But in real time, in construction, we will be creating some 10,000 to 15,000 activities. In this case, if that wizard is on, it will consume lot of time. So to get rid of that, time consumption, what we do, we go to user preferences, we will uncheck these two things and we will just press add. So within a fraction of a second, I can create 10 to 12 activities. Okay, you understood why I unchecked that user assistance. Yeah, okay, fine. So you can create activities. Can you upload activity list? Of course you can upload activity list from Excel, or normally we do it manually inside the Primavera, but you have the list of activities in an Excel sheet, we can import it. Okay. Okay, fine. Next, under programming we will create some activities. Add we will create. Under implementing also we will create some. So you should be able to download it. You should be able to download it as well. Download it in the sense like Excel sheet. You can run manually. If you have created the activities, like, okay, let's see Excel. When you do it in Excel, you have to make sure there should be some format actually. I will try to show you that. Excel. Okay, fine, yeah. You can actually do it. You can just create activities in Excel. Let's say A, B. Let's go on and, okay, right, yeah. Alright, so that's how we create activities. Yeah, of course. And I told you that is how we create activities. After that, you need to set the duration for each activity. So how you do that activity duration? You can just click on the original duration. Let's say 5 days, 6 days, 55 days, 55 days, 44 days, 77 days. So likewise you can give the duration. When you give duration, you can see in the window here, right here, it is Gantt chart. It will display the activities in graphical representation. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take activities, duration, relationship and schedule using one example. What is that example? CPM example. So in CPM example, we will do the same example and we will see whether we are getting the same critical path. So we will create this same example A, B, C up to K, duration and predecessors, so that you will understand how to do it in Primavera. So I'm going to delete all these activities. Select all activities and press delete button. And to do that example, we don't want this much of WBS. So I will go to WBS button. I will delete the WBS. Select and delete. Then go to the activities. Straight away I am going to create activities A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. Name it as A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. Okay. Now what is the duration of each activities? 3, 11, 9, 7. 3, 11, 9, 7. 9, 5, 9, 19, 17. 9, 5, 5, 19, 17, 5 and 3. Okay. So after the duration, the next step is what? We need to give the relationship. So what is the relationship? First A, B, C activity don't have any relationship. It means it starts concurrently. Activity D will start after completion of activity A. So what do you do? Go to select activity D, go to predecessors. Here you can see predecessors. Okay, go to this particular detail window, we call it as detail window. Go to predecessors and press assign button. Okay, D activity predecessor is what? A. So select A and press assign. Now you can see activity D, the predecessor is assigned as A. And in relationship, you can see relationship type column where you can change the type to finish, finish to start, start to finish, and start to start. Okay, and if there is any lag, means any delay, you can put it here in the under lag. Okay. Now, activity E and F. Activity E and F, the predecessor is B. So what you do, select activity E, go to predecessors, press assign, make it as B, go to F, predecessor is also B. Then go to G and H, predecessor is C. So go to G activity, select the predecessor as C, H is also C. Then I, the predecessor is D and E. So select I, predecessor is D and E. See, D and E both are predecessors. J is F and G. Select J and select the predecessor F and G. And go to K, predecessor is I, J and H. Select I, J and H. Okay, right. So we have given the relationship. So in Primavera, what you need to do, you need to create a project, then you need to create WBS, create activities, create the duration, and give the relationship. After doing all this step, you need to schedule the project. How you schedule project? You can click on this icon. This is called as schedule icon, or you can simply press F9 button. You will get a window like this. You have already told program that you are starting project on 1st February 16. Schedule. You can see your project has schedule, and you can see it is very small. Why? Look at the time scale. Time scale is showing 2016, and the second tier it is showing February, March, April, like that. It is showing year and month. That is why this entire Gantt chart, it is very small. If you want to make it larger, you can right click over here, go to time scale option, and date format. You can see date interval. Interval is showing what? Year and month. Click this down arrow and change to week and day. Press OK. You can see it is showing now week. Sunday is, this is SMT, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Sunday is February 7, Monday is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Then February 14 starts. Okay, so it is showing week and day. And if you move the cursor over the time scale, there are two buttons. This is called as span button, where you can click and drag the time scale, and at the bottom you can see it will change to zoom button, where you can press and zoom in and out. Okay, right. Now here you can see which is the critical activities. This red color activities are critical. It is showing exactly as per our calculation, which is B, E, I and K. So hope you understood that how program is calculating the critical activities is exactly how we calculated manually. Is that clear? Fine. So do you understand how to give the relationships? Fine. Now understand what is lag? Here you can see under predecessors there is a lag button. You have any doubt or confusion in lag? I will show you an example if you want. Of course, yeah. For one example I will give you just for a reference. Two activities are there, right? Let's assume this is AA, this is BB activity. Let's say AA and BB activity, the relationship is finished to start. So how to give? Go to predecessor, assign AA as its predecessors, then click schedule, press schedule. You can see AA activity finishes, BB activity starts. If you want to start BB activity after 6 days of completion of activity AA, we can use of lag. How? You can click BB, go to the lag button, say 5 days of lag, then schedule it. You can see after AA, it will wait for 5 days, then only BB will start. So that is lag button. If you give negative value, let's say negative 3, it will act as lead. That means at the middle of activity AA, BB will start. Now I will talk about layout. Layout, here you can see an option called as layout. Layout means the arrangement of columns is called as layout. So what is the arrangement of columns in this project? Activity ID, then activity name, duration, remaining duration, schedule, percentage complete. So this is the arrangement. So normally when you select that layout, click on this layout, go to layout option, press open, and program will ask, would you like to save the changes? Say no. Then these are the default layout in Primavera. So when you go, you can see there is a layout called as classic schedule layout. Select it and press open. Now you can see the arrangement of column has changed. Activity ID, name, duration, remaining duration, start, finish, and total float. And here you can see activity A got 10 days float, 9 days, 10 days, like that. Okay. Now, do you know the difference between total float and free float? You must be knowing. Okay. Alright. There are two kinds of float. Normally when we explain critical path method, we explain only total float. But there is one more float which is called as free float, which we will be using in industries, right? Normally we cannot use total float in our industries. We will be using only free float. Why? I will explain it. What you do is, I want to add one more column, which is free float column. So to add a new column or remove an existing column, you can right click on the tables and you can go to columns option. And when you click that, program will come up with a window where in the left side it will show the available option and the right side it shows the selected option. Now these are all the available thing. You can see activity ID, name, duration, remaining duration. If you don't want activity total float, click on total float and press remove from list button. So it will go back to available option. If you want total float, you can press this option. This is add to list, right? Now I will add one more column which is free float. Press this button, total float, free float. And if you want to move the arrangement, you can use up and down. Click up, it will go up, down, it will go down. And press OK, you can see a new column is added which is free float. Have a closer look. You can see some activities have total float. Some activities have total float and free float, and some activities have only free float. Now I will explain what is it. Time scale I will change to week per day 1. In Primavera, this is called as Gantt chart. Green color activities are called as non-critical activities and red color activities are called as critical activities. Now here there are a black strip which we call as WBS. WBS is denoted as black strip, and here you can see a dotted lines. Are you able to see a dotted lines? This dotted lines means free float. Means look at activity G. Total float is how much? 18 days. That means you can delay activity G for 18 days. And 2 days is free float. Look at G activity. So G activity 2 days is free float. That means if you delay activity G for 2 days, it will come here, right? It will move and it will come up to here. Correct? If you delay activity G, it will move and it will come here, right? Now if you delay activity G more than 2 days, what will happen? Activity G, the relationship is J, it will push activity J if you delay more than 2 days. Is that correct? Yes, that means free float means where you can use this float without delaying your successor activity. But free float means it will delay its successor activity without delaying the total project duration. So which one is better, total float or free float? Total float means you can delay that particular activity, which will also delay its successor activity, but it won't delay the total project duration. Free float means you can delay that particular activity without delaying its successor activity, without delaying the total project duration. You understand the difference? Exactly, free float is better. When you work in a project, you want to delay some activity without delaying its successor, right? So in this case, you can go and use a free float. So this is a normal question where normally every industry is asked in their interviews. What is the difference between total float and free float? Of course, yeah, right, because your risk is high if you use .float, correct. And if there is a project of having 1,000, 2,000 activities, program, if you make use of total float, it will delay its all successor activities and you will be having no idea which activities has changed its start date and finish date. Fine, so that is the difference between total float and free float. Right, so hope you understood all this topic, OBS, EPS, user preferences, calendar, project up to schedule. I'm just taking step by step exactly how the project is done in industry, right? So this is our today's session. I think it goes gone well. Hope you understood all the topics.
Thank you, everyone. We are now going to begin answering the questions submitted during today's presentation.
All right, Mr. Charles, do you have any more doubts? Is there any stage where allowances for such eventualities are made? Okay, you can give buffer. Let's say if you are sure that something will happen. I believe that you are coming from a production manufacturing field. So during the production of some materials, there may be some equipment breakdown. In that case, you can give some buffer periods in planning phase itself. In Primavera, we have an option called as lag. You can see activity D, you can see the predecessor activity is A and the lag is 0. If you want to give some buffer period, let's say after completion of A, you expect some problem. So you can just give 2 days of lag to clear such issues. So that is what we call as lag. So such allowances can be made at the beginning, at the planning phase. Exactly, lag. Lag means delay. So buffering allowances means what? It's the kind of buffering we are giving, like buffer time. So such buffer time you can give under lag. This is an option in Primavera. Okay, Mr. Charles, you can speak right now because I have unmuted you. And let me know any more queries. Any more doubts, Mr. Charles? All right. So thank you for that. So this is world's first interactive webinar hosted by Multisoft Online. And this is Nikhil Raj. I'm going to wind up the session, and if you have any more queries related to the course, you can ask Ms. Shivali. I'm changing the host to Ms. Shivali. She'll be talking to you right now.
Thank you, Mr. Nikhil Raj, and thank you everyone for attending today's webinar. If you have any other questions, please contact enquiry@multisoftvirtualacademy.com. I'll repeat again, if you have any other questions with regards to the training or any other question with regards to the course contents, you can please contact enquiry@multisoftvirtualacademy.com. That is enquiry@multisoftvirtualacademy.com. You can also note down our contact number, which is 24/7 available. That is +91 8130 666 or +91 8130 66209. Once you leave today's webinar, you will also receive its recorded session for future reference. You will also receive a follow-up email from the training advisor for the future webinars and the upcoming sessions for Primavera P6 live online training. On behalf of Multisoft Virtual Academy and our presenters, thank you for joining us today and have a great rest of your day.